All right, good morning, guys. Good morning. Hope everyone is having a good Thursday. Yeah, the volume's looking a little slow this morning. I mean, we have some gappers here. We have TRXC. We have TRXC. We have CRSP. HEAR has been a recent one that started to run a little bit. I needed to add that one to my watch list. You can see HEAR starting to spike up. I'm guessing some type of news came out with this one. Also, keeping an eye on IGC and NBEV, just like yesterday, as well as NIO. But also watching LB, which is gapping up from 28.52, 30.14. AMRN, been watching it every day. ABX and AU for some gold-related stocks. They're gapping up a small amount as well as some gold ETFs. Like, let me see. I saw them moving earlier. JNUG, NUGT, and so we do have some. Actually, I think NUGT might be. Oh yeah, no, this is a gold ETF. So yeah, we got some of those moving, and so yeah, just keeping an eye on a few of these things here, seeing if we get anything else that looks good. HEAR is kind of slowly turning into my main watch. Let me catch back up on the chat. Good morning, Rail. Good morning, Missouri. Yeah, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Big sell-off yesterday. The SPY, definitely was down a lot yesterday. With this, I really look at the daily, and it did kind of. I remember somebody asking me if this was a crash or if it was going to crash today, and I said yesterday, I think it will if it breaks under this first top resistance at 280, and it broke under that. It's at 277 now, so interesting here to see what happens. Technically gapping down some from yesterday, but it went as low as 273, and so. Realistically, I think we're going to get a lot of rebounds today. I think a lot of stuff is going to rebound from these big drops. But that's just a hypothesis. I really don't know what the market's going to do, but we'll see. Good morning, Frio, John O, Huguetes. Good morning, Maria. Good morning. Yeah, Maria, I sent it to you. Mark Peter, good morning. John O, good morning. How about the Houston weather this morning? It's kind of cool outside today. It's like 65, 70 degrees here. It feels good. Finally, I've been waiting for the cold to hit. Good morning, Salty. What's up, man? Good morning, Netron, Masher, Cole Siriu. Good morning, Eric. 7. Good morning, Mark Chaser. What's up, James? Good morning. Live Gains. Good morning. Juan. Carl. Good morning. Yeah, man. The weather feels good, man. The weather feels good out here. It's been so hot lately. I've just been waiting for it to get cooler out, and so it's nice that it finally did. Let me drink some coffee. Wake up a little bit. All right, so HEAR is probably one of the bigger ones I'm watching. It's gapping up from 17.20 to 20.30, so it's gapping up about $3, maybe $2.90 exactly, I think. So it's gapping up a decent amount. Definitely gonna watch it. Over 10% gap up, so gonna keep an eye on it. Same thing with TRXC. See if I could find anything else though. This one's gapping up from 451 to 5. And so gonna watch that one. AU gapping up, gold stock. Some of these ETFs are running. The last time the market did this, I remember I traded a lot of pairs trades off the SPY, and so I would look at ETFs and inverse ETFs like TVIX and UVXY, and if the SPY pushed up, I would go short on those ETFs, and if the SPY pushed down like it was doing, I would go long on those ETFs. And so, for instance, you can see if you look at the TVIX and the SPY, they're like opposites. So yesterday the SPY crashed. Yesterday the TVIX ran up really well, and so they're basically like opposites. And so that's what I did last time. I don't know if I'm gonna do it this time. It just depends on what the market looks like. Watching LB gapping up some, 28.52 to $30 even where it's sitting now. NIO, which is kind of following the SPY a little bit. So I'm looking at NIO. Bounced off of 7 here in pre-market. That's a level I'm going to be watching, see if it holds that. It does have a little bit of room from yesterday's big move up. It's got a little bit of a gap to fill here, so I'm watching it under 7. Also 750, see if it can get rejected there. So keeping an eye on NIO. Same thing with all the other ones I've been watching. IGC, NBEV, AMRN. ARWR had a pretty rough day yesterday too. LB and a few other ones, but it's not looking that great this morning. Like somebody else said, the volume's a little bit low, which is okay. I mean, lower volume days are going to happen. Hey, appreciate the... let me make sure my volume's up. I'm not hearing that. Oh, it's because desktop audio isn't on. But hey, I appreciate the $2 super chat, man. Means a lot, bro. That's awesome. Shout out to Jordan. But yeah, I really appreciate it, man. It means a lot. Somebody posted a comment saying they were mad at me for smoking. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, Jordan. Means a lot, man. But yeah, somebody posted me a comment on YouTube, said they were mad at me for smoking. Let me see. What did they say? They said, can't stop smoking, quote, question mark, then you will not be able to work in the market. Okay, bro. Whatever, man. I don't smoke. I vape electric cigarettes, and so whatever, man. Sorry, bro. Moving on. So we're gonna look up the news in a second. Two main watches, I guess, are TRXC and HEAR. Those are the ones that probably have the best volume, although the volume overall right now is a little slow. It's not looking too hot right now in the market. The volume's been really good the last week or two, and so, slow days are going to happen, especially towards the end of the week. Usually the beginning of the week is much more volatile and a lot of volume during the beginning of the week. As things kind of slowly creep towards the end of the week, stuff slows down a little bit. So I'm just going to look at the scanners. USLV doesn't look bad as well. It looks like it's an ETF, though. Let me see. See if I can get this thing to tell me what it is. No. Yeah, let's look for USLB. Trying to see exactly what this one is. I'll just have to look it up, I think. We also have Seadrill. But yeah, let's see if USLV is tradable. Right, that's what That's what I mentioned earlier. Cool. The last time the market crashed like that, that's what I was looking at. I was trying to pairs trade the TVIX and the UVXY, the inverse ETFs basically, with the SPY. And so USLV is tradable as well. I'll keep an eye on it. We got some gappers here. Most of the stock equities, I'm looking at the volume's relatively low, even for the gappers. And so cool is right. On days like today, you can kind of look at the TVIX, see the volume's good. UVXY, volume's good. And they're doing the opposite of what the SPY does. So we'll see. CGEN looks good. I forgot to check to see if this one was tradable. Doesn't look like it would be. No, it's not, unfortunately. But mostly everything else is that I'm watching, so no stress. GRFS popping up on my scanners. FCAU on my scanners. ACRX on my scanners. This one's not tradable either. But look at that move yesterday and pre-market yesterday. Wow, what a crazy move. It went from 124 to 260 before the open. So yeah, looking at a few gap fills with these. Gonna start mapping some of these out. See what that does. TRXC. All right. Gonna look at HEAR, and then I'll go over the news in a second. There's also GDXJ popping up on the scanner. Still low volume. BBVA. Alright, so we'll go ahead and look up the news a little bit early this morning. But I like the volume on here. HEAR, which is Turtle Beach. I actually own a few of these headphones. They make headphones for Xbox. I have a pair of their headphones. And so mainly going to be watching TRXC, HEAR, and what was the other one? LB maybe CRSP was I think the other one. It's definitely got some resistance here at 43. Some support at 41 maybe. Alright, but the first one I'm looking up is, I'm going to look up news on, I'm pretty sure the SPY and market overall dropped yesterday because of, people are worried about tariffs. Yeah, what was it? We looked at it the other day. There you go. Hey, that's true. Hey, appreciate that, Live Gains. I didn't even realize that. Appreciate it, man. Anyone here run any trading algos? No, but it's really something I've been looking into, Salty. Just because of the way I trade, I back test, and that's more of an algorithmic style where you back test data, find profitable, setups and patterns, and then implement them. And so I've been thinking about, looking at algo trading as well. Snap, CHK, man, let me look at those. I didn't realize those. Snap, VWAP faded multiple times there. Yeah, appreciate it, John. Or appreciate it, Tom. Good morning, Felix. But look at IGC start to tank here in pre-market, everyone. Look at this. So IGC has been steadily falling here every, it reached its highs. I think it was higher than this. If you look at the daily chart, it eventually one day got up to 1450s. And then, like most of these parabolic movers, they almost always come right back down. Something else to check out is that, I don't know if anybody remembers when I bought my put option on TRVG, but my TRVG put option that I bought, I think I bought it, must have been 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Not quite a month ago though, but my TRVG put option is well into the profits. I bought it at about $5 with a strike price of $4.80, and it's currently at $4.60, and it still has about a week left. A little bit over a week, actually. And so my TRVG put option is looking good. It's actually going to open up lower. And realistically, I've made, I bought this put option for $20, and so I've made a 100% return for relative to what I invested on this option. And so I'm still relatively new with options. I'm not an options expert or anything like that, but kind of excited, really. Both of the options, I bought one on NEPT and one on TRVG. They were about a month long put options, to where if the stock dropped a certain amount, I would profit from. And so it's nice to be in the profit for my TRVG option. Probably going to end up selling it today and banking profits. I'm not going to risk letting it rebound some. And regardless of how small, 100% gain on a trade is good. So I'll take it. News on CRASP this morning, Fed approval. Yeah, so I'll look that one up. Give me a second. Waiting for my computer's news section to load up. But yeah, so HEAR and CRSP are looking pretty good. Yeah, I'll probably sell it, Daniel. I'll probably end up selling that put option. Like I said, I think the market's probably going to rebound some today. It's all speculation. It's just a hypothesis. I really don't know. It could very easily continue dropping. But naturally when I see stuff like that, I'm more long biased. When I see a big crash like that, I'm usually more interested in selling it as quickly as I can, especially now that I'm in the profits for it. And so I'll probably let it open, see if it starts to rebound. If it continues to drop, depending on what the SPY does, I'll probably hold it for a little while. But if it rebounds at all, I'm just going to sell, get out for my profit. Alright, first one I'm looking up though is CRSP. Someone mentioned this one, said the Fed approval for CRSP. Yeah, the FDA lifted the hold on their human trial for CRSP, and that's what's ultimately going on with it. And I'm definitely going to watch this one. It's gapping up a lot here, and so I'm going to look at it for a potential short. So yeah, CRSP and VRTX have been cleared by the FDA. Let me look at VRTX here. It's not really moving as much as CRSP. It's not moving at all. It's actually gapping down some. But yeah, the companies released a press release saying the FDA lifted their clinical hold, which enables them to begin trialing the experimental therapies. And so FDA lifts their restrictions on CRSP. That's ultimately why it's gapping up. It's definitely a legitimate catalyst, but I'm still going to look for it to come back down some, specifically under this $41 level. See if it cracks under there. Next one I'm looking up is TRXC. That sounds like FDA clearance. Yeah. Every time I do that on my computer, it freezes. I'm just going to use my phone again. Time to get a new laptop. Oh, no, there it goes. All right, so yeah, the FDA clearance for 3mm instrument set, as well as an additional 5 million instruments, which is ultimately advancing minimally invasive capabilities. Tough to understand this. All right, so let's look at what it really means. All right, so TRXC is a medical company. They're digitizing the interface between the surgeon and the patient, and it ultimately helps to it helps improve minimally invasive surgeries. But yeah, today they announced, so this is TRXC, they announced the FDA clearance for 3mm diameter instruments, as well as additional 5mm instruments. And so that's going to enhance the system instruments, and that's ultimately why that one's gapping up. Sorry if I was a little rambly. I'm trying to understand it as much as I can. But yeah, basically FDA... the FDA cleared them using a certain size instrument for what they do, and ultimately that's what's making TRXC gap up some. Moving on to... Sorry, I'm a little bit away from the mic. Next one I'm looking up is HEAR. That one looks pretty good. Gapping up from 1720 to 1995. Just under that $20 level. It bounced off there previously this morning. So it sounds like Turtle Beach, which is HEAR, released third quarter revenue. So yeah, they had strong preliminary third quarter results. They put out a press release saying for the third quarter they are expecting revenue to be between 73 million and 74 million, which is better than their previous guidance of 64 million. And so good third quarter expectations for HEAR. Also looking at LB here, gapping up from 28.52 to 30.20. Want to see a little bit more volume, but still gonna watch it. All right, so yeah, so LB is basically the parent company to Victoria's Secret, and LB put out a release that said that their September sales rose from September last year, and that it's pursuing an all alternative for its La Senza business. So good increased sales from last year and a good outlook basically on what they're going to do in the future for LB. That's what's causing it to gap up. Let's see if I can figure out why the market crashed. I'm pretty sure it was so yeah, the Dow Jones dropped 831 points yesterday. There's a few different reasons for it. It's in the worst day of the year after tech stocks went into a tailspin. So yeah, it sounds like a lot of the tech stocks got hit hard yesterday. Let's look it up. Yeah, Google did. Amazon did, which most of these follow the overall market because ultimately that's what the S&P and the Dow are made of, is these bigger companies, these big tech companies. AMD. Yep. And so I think we'll probably get a rebound today. I don't know. It's all speculation, though. We'll see. Yeah, that's what I heard as well, as from interest rate hikes. Sure, floats here. I try to make it visible enough, but I can try to put it out a little bit more here for float. Float's right here, though. It's the orange. Yeah, sorry. Catching back up on the chat. How much money do I need to start some humble trading? Yeah, it all depends on what your definition of humble is. I mean, of course, you could start with like $1,000, but it's pretty tough to build up $1,000 account just because you can't take big sizing, which might be a good thing, but it's tough. Realistically, I think to really get started, you're gonna need a few thousand, like 2 or 3. But it all depends. It all depends on what you're trying to do, what type of niche you have in the market. You know, what's the price of stocks you generally trade and everything like that. And so it depends on a lot of different things. Good morning, John. But yeah, I mean, I gotta be careful though. As a short bias trader, days like today when the market dropped substantially for most stocks yesterday, most of the stocks on my watch list were falling yesterday. Barely any were pushing up. And the reason behind that is that 3 out of 4 stocks follows the overall market, or 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market. And so if you look at what the overall market did yesterday, it just tanked really bad. The SPY dropped from where it opened at about 287 all the way down to 277. So it dropped about $10 in the SPY. Trying to think of what the ticker symbol for the Dow Jones is, but it's basically the same as the SPY. And so yeah, the market definitely fell some. I heard it was because like some people are saying in the chat, from interest rate hikes, and a lot of it is fear from tariffs is another thing I heard. So we'll see what happens with the market today. Got to be careful just because a lot of stuff dropped, and so I think today may be a rebound day with a lot of this stuff, depending on what the SPY does. But we'll see. You never really know in this market, so hopefully we get some good action here. But as a short bias trader, I have to be careful, specifically with rebounding stocks that are going to be rebounding from tomorrow, which is a definite possibility. So yeah, just got to be careful. Yeah, DIA. Yeah, I put in DJI, but yeah, look at the Dow Jones. Just same thing as the SPY. It dropped from 260s down to 250s in pre-market. So a lot of big drops. You know, I don't want the economy to drop. I want the economy to keep going. I want it to keep going up, regardless of whether I'm a short bias trader or not. You know, for someone who lives here, I definitely want the economy to do well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We got about 6 minutes. Good morning, Webb. Yeah, a lot of these cannabis stocks did go down. John O. CGen looks okay. I mean, I like it. It's got some resistance at 4. Gonna watch it under 387, 386, and really under this low of pre at 370. I wouldn't say I'm planning on buying anything specific, Lewis. I really don't like, I'm not one of those who has like stock picks or anything like that. I just let people watch me trade. And while I'm definitely looking to short some of these big gapping stocks if they fall. I think they could very easily bounce as well, especially considering what the market did yesterday. If the market bounces, I think a lot of these stocks are going to bounce as well. And so, I just got to be careful. I don't want to really try to predict which ones are going to do it. I'm just going to look to see which ones are doing it at the open, No, it's nicotine. Trey, so no, it doesn't. So yeah, I can trade as much as I want on TAFs, which is the intro account. And like I said, I can trade as much as I want. The way they get around it, I think, is because it's CFD trading, and so technically it's not day trading, and so they get around it, and so that's ultimately what it is. Biggest flaw to TEFs is that some stocks aren't tradable, and so that's easily the most frustrating thing, is that a lot of stocks aren't tradable on TEFs, which is TradeNet's partnering broker. But if you watch the stream consistently, you probably see that Mitch and I generally can find decent stocks to trade, even though some aren't tradable. So we make it work, but you do want to understand that some cheaper stocks, specifically low volume stocks, aren't tradable, and you do want to understand that. But, like I said, we make it work. If anybody's interested in signing up, there's the link. It gets you 20% off the intro package on TradeNet. And so if anybody's interested in signing up, you can go through that link. We do make a small commission from it, but it's one of the ways we keep the stream free and everything free. And so, we appreciate it if you do. It's a good way to support the channel. But like I said, we try to be honest with people about it. But anyways, also shout out to Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas is nice enough to let me use their scans. And so really awesome scanning software, really customizable. If anybody's interested in checking out Trade Ideas, I'll post their link here as well. But yeah, so really customizable scans regardless of what your niche is in the market, and they're super cool company for letting me stream some of these scans. So go check out Trade Ideas, really cool free scanning software, and I'm definitely loving using them. It gives me a really organized way to look for stocks to trade. So right, exactly, Mike. The ones that are tradable, any stock that's tradable is shortable. So anything I can actually trade on TAFs, I can short. I'm going to run to the restroom really quick before the opening. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so Robinhood, I mean, you know, it has its pros and cons. Um, obviously one of the pros is that it's free, and you can see I use Robinhood. Like I'm holding a put option on Robinhood right now for TRVG. And so I think Robinhood, my favorite thing about it at this point is that it allows you to trade options. I think that's huge that it actually allows you to do that. But yeah, it has its flaws. Fills are probably one of the big flaws with it. But let me get ready for the open. Bring up my high of the day scans here. But look at LB starting to spike here. Oof, man. My headphones are way too loud. That hurt my ears. All right, so there's the bell. Watching CRSP HEAR. Looking at IGC dropping at the open, NBEV dropping some at the open, LB pushing up, CRSP. Short gap ups that fail, Tom. Mostly. It all varies, on what I think looks good, but mostly short gappers that fail. All right, I'm looking at HEAR. It's starting to fall some. If it pulls back to this 1965 level, I could set my risk at 85. It'd give me about 20 cents. I don't know if the risk to reward would be good from 65 down to 35. Actually, the risk to reward would be pretty good. 20-cent risk. 30-cent reward. Not quite the best, but not bad either. A little bit better than 1-to-1. So watching IGC starting to spike, AMRN spiking some here as well. At the same time, I could possibly set my reward target for 19 with it and give myself better risk to reward, but I think it might bounce before then. We'll see. Risk 85, entry. I also think it may bounce at the $0.50, so I think the risk to reward wouldn't be as good here. There's a spike. Yeah, see? There's a spike on HEAR. Not saying it won't come back down, but I don't like it as much now. Looking at CRSP, the only problem with this one is that it's more expensive, and so my range is ultimately going to be a little bit bigger, and I got to take smaller size relative to what I usually take. But I mean, if it gets up to 40.50, I could set a risk at 41. Take 20 shares, 30 shares maybe. Starter. For that time. Kind of looking at TRXC, ABX. TRXC is kind of a little bit of a washout long pattern here. Let's see what the SPY's doing. Like I thought, though, a lot of stuff is rebounding right now. I know IGC is AMRN, NBEV, LB, you know. A lot of stuff's rebounding some, so not really a shorter's day as much as I would like it to be. All right, brother. Yeah, no stress, Mitch. We'll see you tomorrow, man. Few popping up on the high of day scans. Meet AXON. Maybe a little bit of a VWAP bounce in AMRN. If anybody knows my little VWAP bounce strategy, maybe one here, I don't know. Here, risk of here, what is that? So 81 to, or no, 83 to 70, 13-cent risk. Good reward. Would have been good risk to reward in this bounce here for AMRN, but a little too late now. This one also slightly faded back to the VWAP. It didn't get as high as I wanted it to, though. And really, it got pretty close, actually. The VWAP has since come down some. Before, the VWAP was around 40.65. But still had a little bit of a gap between the VWAP, so I didn't want to chase. Look at NIO starting to tank here. Look at this drop on NIO. Gonna look for see if it bounces off a 7. Also, kind of watching IGC, see if it. I guess I could watch NIO, see if it bounces back to the 730 level with a risk of 735. Maybe just a quick scalp for this one. I think if it bounces back there, it's got a decent amount of risk, or a small amount of risk. If it gets up to 730, I could easily set my risk at 735 for just a really tight risk trade. Gotta be quick with it though, but I don't mind that trade idea at this point. See if it bounces though. There's 725. What's the spread like? The spread's kind of gnarly. I'll give it a little bit of time here. Yeah, CRSP actually faded off the VWAP nicely. The VWAP dropped a little bit and it didn't quite touch it, so it wasn't ideal, but it did fade nicely there. Let's see if NIO gets back up here to give me a good risk area. Yeah, NIO never quite got as high as the VWAP. Still watching for the 729, 730 level for it with the risk of 735, so a tight risk. Also kind of looking at CRSP, although I'm kind of straying away from it. It's kind of outside my price range. I'm not as comfortable as trading these big expensive stocks. Look at AMRN though. It was a beautiful VWAP bounce. I called this one out too. Said entry here with a risk area of here, And really nice VWAP bounce, which is kind of like the opposite of a VWAP fade, but beautiful little bounce there on AMR. And it's a trade I got to get comfortable trading. I've been back testing it lately, and it works a decent amount of time. But AMR in rebounding, NBEV rebounding, LB running up. What's the SPY doing? Yeah, the SPY rebounded a little bit at the open, but then just tanked. So maybe not a bad short day after all. Yeah, AMRN bounced beautifully off the VWAP. Beautiful VWAP bounce. It's kind of the opposite of the VWAP fade. Somebody's asking me what I'm planning on doing, why I'm looking at these. I'm looking at NIO to get up here so I could set my risk at this support level all throughout here. So basically here would be my risk for like 5-6 cents. Potential reward would be down at the low, 7.13. So, much bigger than 5-cent reward. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Want to see it bounce though. It's got to line up perfectly for it to be good risk to reward. And so that's what I'm waiting on. But yeah, look at AMRN bouncing off that VWAP here. Beautiful little VWAP bounce there. If anybody was in our class yesterday, I kind of broke it down. Look at IGC tank here. NBEV is pulling back to the VWAP as well, but it looks like it just tanked under there. It looks like some of these cannabis stocks are going to start to turn around. I'm also kind of looking at ABX, which is a gold stock. If you look at ABX, it's pushing down some here. If I get in around 1180s, I could set a risk of 1183, 1184. I would have to jump in with larger share size. Potential profit would be at 1170, so good risk reward there too. Like I said, they would have to jump in with like 300 shares, maybe 400 shares. Now here, I forgot about here. Let me look at it. Yeah, I'm not having problems with my Thinkorswim. Yeah, here had a nice little VWAP rejection. Here, on here. No pun intended. I'll be right back, guys. My wife's looking at me like I'm crazy, wondering why I'm running through the house. But look at HEAR, man. Look at this drop. Broke under these lows, rejected off the VWAP right here, and then just crashed. Yeah, NIO. It didn't quite get back to the VWAP. I was looking at entering it here, giving myself a little bit tighter risk. It just got up to 725, so didn't quite get up there, but would have been a nice fade as well. TRXC crashing. So yeah, a lot of stuff's crashing today. The only one I really see right now is ABX. The only thing I'm a little bit skeptical of with this one is that the market's still kind of falling some today. And with this being a gold related stock, a lot of the time when the market falls, people buy gold as kind of like an insurance thing. And so that's the only reason I'm a little bit skeptical of shorting this stock now for ABX, just because the market is falling some, and I'm a little hesitant that gold is going to start being more valued in the market like it is, just because of human nature. And so for that reason, even with a short-term short, I'm a little bit more hesitant with this one for ABX, if that makes sense. CRON. I forgot about CRON. I think most of the cannabis stocks were just overvalued. And listen, I'm not against cannabis in any way. Trust me, I'm not. But I think a lot of them are just overvalued. I think most of them are relatively new companies. Alright, everyone, I don't know if y'all are still here. I got my internet back working. I don't know why my internet just went out. Frustrating. Comcast, which is typical. But looking at NIO here with a risk of 725, I'm going to go ahead and short this one, although I'm a little worried about it. Let me know if the quality and everything's good. It should be. Looks like we got it back. Got to be careful here. 725 is my risk. And so if it breaks that, I'm out. Got to look at the level 2. All right, I'm out. So I got out for a $15 loss there. It was good risk to reward. My risk was roughly 725, and even if it fakes me out, I followed my plan there. But frustrating, regardless of my not talking about this trade. This trade's fine. I stuck to my plan, but my internet going out was frustrating. But moving on. Looking at TLRY, it's kind of rebounding some to the VWAP here. We'll see what it does. I was also looking at CRON here. And IGC and NBEV have been tanking all morning. So watching those. And it looks like my exit here was good. But who knows? Let me refresh this. Yeah, mine is lagging a little bit as well. Okay, good. At least my stream is back. I'm kind of looking at Cron here. It looks to be possibly fading. Although I really don't want to force anything at this point. I already had one losing trade. It's the first losing trade I've had this week though, but had one losing trade thus far. Just got to calculate my risk to reward on Cron if it gave me that. Yeah, mine's out too. T America. I mean, it's not out, but when I was in this trade, it said it was at 715 and was really at like 720s on per my TEFs. And so it's Thinkorswim acting funny again. It's been doing that a lot lately, honestly. Alright, so here's CRON. Trying to think of where I could set my risk. If I got in this one, I could set my risk at 733. Let me move that. Yeah, I could set my risk at 935, giving me about a 10-cent risk. Potential reward would be down to 905, about a 20-cent reward. So it would be 2-to-1 if I gave this 935 level as my risk on CRON. It's just acting strange. Thinkorswim. I mean, also IGC is kind of setting up. C70 could set my risk at 76, 77 maybe. Realistically, it'd be about 78 for IGC. And the reward would be maybe 458. It wouldn't be bad risk to reward. for IGC. Yeah, mine are acting funny too, if you can see by my screen on Thinkorswim. HEAR. The whole market is kind of fading right now, or it looks to be setting up for a fade, but I got to be careful. I don't want to see any of these big pushbacks. But like I said, looking at IGC here for 78 risk, so, but whoa, the spread's about 10 cents. Okay, I'm not messing with it with the spread like it is. HEAR looks good, but the spread's bad on that one too. It's about 8 cents. And the spread on IGC is about 6 cents. It's just too much for a $4.50 stock, $4.50 stock. And I don't know if the ask is what's messed up, but it's just looking, it's acting funny here. But yeah, it looks like I might have my first red day this week. I'm honestly, with the way Thinkorswim's acting right now, it just makes me nervous. You know, my internet went out, Thinkorswim's acting funny. And so it might not be the day today to take another trade. We'll see. Risk on HEAR would be at 73. No, just too big of spread, or too big of range for 100 shares. From 50 to 74. Realistically, I could set it 75, 25% risk. Reward would be probably at least down to 1880. So 25% risk if it's at 1950. Is 70-cent reward, so not too bad there. Yeah, I'm not going to take IGC now. The reason I'm not is because NBEV and IGC typically follow each other a decent amount. Like, they don't always do it, but you could see NBEV looked like a fade here, and it just rebounded. And so I think IGC may do the same. I mean, realistically, I could set my risk at 78, 77 here for about a 7-cent risk, and so it would still be tight, but I got to be careful with some of these. I'm seeing a lot of them look like they're fading and then rebounding some. And so I need to try to minimize my loss as much as I can. I'm going to go ahead and sell my TRVG put option. Now that the market's rebounding some, I want to try to get out while I can and just take my money. No. Oh, no. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, TRXC, IGC, and NBEV both look like good fades. The reason I didn't jump into any of these is because, like I said, today may be a rebound day. A lot of stuff may rebound. And so with that, I have to be really careful. I can't force stuff. You know what I mean? I can't force anything down. And with a lot of these fake outs today, considering a lot of stocks are rebounding, I just have to be careful. And, you know, you could see IGC pushing up. NIO eventually pulled back down, but don't know if I would have been able to hold it through that squeeze up. And so yeah, I'm just gonna kind of be careful today, guys. Where's Tiny? Tiny's here? I didn't see her. There's Tiny. What's up, Tiny? Yeah, I feel you. Cool. That's kind of how I'm not gonna, I'm down a small amount, a tiny amount, $15, and so I'm just gonna sit on my hands. This is the first losing day I had this week, and I just don't want to risk getting caught in some of this craziness right now. But I don't know. If you guys heard me say where my risk level would have been on IGC, I said it would have been at 478. You can see right where it moved up to, this 478 level. And this is stuff we went over in our risk reward class about how to identify good areas to set your risk. And so I hope you guys can see why I set my risk there. That's 78, and it didn't touch it yet, but I think it's a very obvious risk level at 78. And to be honest, like days like yesterday are the best days for fades. If you look at yesterday, almost everything faded, but days like today are a little bit tougher. And CRSP still doesn't look bad for a fade. At this point, I would have to set my risk at 39. It's at 38.60. And so, risk 38.60, or about 20-40 cents. Reward would be about 80-90 cents. So not bad risk reward on CRSP if you got in here. But most of the other stocks that I've seen that were fading ended up faking out. So got to be careful. Looking at the high of the day scanner here. TEUM popping up, starting to push. APRN, Blue Apron, spiking up there. Look at Blue Apron go. Zach, any long trades? I mean, not for the setups that I trade mostly. I see a few that have the potential, but not anything that I see right now. I mean, I'm looking at the high of the day scanner mostly. JKS spiking up some, VSI running up some, IRBT running up some, SLS, PYX. Let's see what the SPY does. Yeah, the SPY's rebounding some, which is what I thought. I mean, that was my hypothesis before the open, if anybody heard me. And it just kind of goes back to the extension level of the market in general. The first thing I look for is the extension level. I want to see, I always try to analyze how extended a stock is in either direction, regardless of whether that is the SPY or the overall market or the cheaper stocks that I trade. So I always try to analyze what the market is doing and how extended it is in one direction. In this case, it would be a little extended on the downside. And so, like I said, with that, I think when a stock is dropping this much or when the market is down this much, I think the momentum is on the upside. I think it has more momentum to push up than it does to push back down. And so that's kind of what you see here with the SPY. It kind of goes back to analyzing the extension level. It's something important, I feel like. And I mean, the only one that really would have worked out right now is IGC. If anybody heard me kind of tell people what I was thinking with IGC, I said risk level 478. Where did it go? Almost to 478, got to 477, so my risk level was perfect for that one. Broke over the VWAP a little bit too much, but it's fading back down. So this is the only one that I see that I kind of missed. But my risk level was okay. But like I said, with the market like it is, I think it may bounce at 460. So we'll see what happens. Looking at TRXC, seeing if TRXC is going to hold over the VWAP. And also looking at CRSP, see if it gets rejected here. But one of the stocks kind of going against what some of the other stocks were doing today was AMRN. Really nice VWAP bounce here. Called that one out. Yeah, I'm looking at IGC. That's what I said. Like, my risk level was correct with this one. Like, my risk level, if you guys remember, was 478. It went up to 477 and, tapped right off of that risk level. So the risk level I would have set was decent. Whether it has enough room to break under this is the important thing. You can see it had a lot of support here at 62 and really 63 where it's kind of sitting now. And so if it can hold under there, it's one thing. But, the next kind of phase in this stock, in my opinion, for my setup is to see if it breaks 460. If it can break 460, it doesn't look bad, Yeah, there goes TRXC fading back down. So IGC ended up falling underneath that 460 level that I was talking about. And you can see TRXC starting to fade big here. Sorry, I was kind of playing around with my options on Robinhood. I accidentally made a mistake and bought another option instead of sold it. So you can tell I'm still learning options, but hey, good idea, Missouri. Nice work, brother. Nice work, Sublime. Good job, dude. Mitch is at work, man, so he's Mitch is at work. He works Wednesdays and Thursdays. Also, kind of looking at AMRN, see if it bounces here. Now, if this one bounces off the VWAP, typically I like the VWAP bounce a little bit earlier in the day, but you can see if you got in here, you could set your risk realistically at 26, giving you about a 10-cent risk. Potential reward would at least be up to 50s, maybe realistically 53, so about 13-cent reward. So it'd still be positive reward to risk, but not as good as I would have liked it to be. So you can see I'm kind of messing around with my puts on Robinhood. If you guys remember, about a week ago, maybe a week or two ago, I deposited 175 into my Robinhood account, and I got it up to about 207, so I'm up about 18%. And so yeah, that's going well. I'm gonna see how long, see how many of these options will work out. Insurance. You talking about me, bro? Yeah, for sure. I should scale up. But looking at TRXC, see if it gets faded off the VWAP here. Or rejected off the VWAP. SPEX. GE. No options on TEFs. It's just day trading. Which stock, Jason? YGYI. OGEN. Kind of looking at LB, see if it bounces off the VWAP here. You talking to me specifically, insurance? All right, so AMRN right here. Now, this one's starting to get me a little interested because I think this is a super obvious risk area of 1830 at this point. Risk would be about 10 cents. Reward would be up to 1855, so about 20 cents, a little bit less maybe at this point. So that doesn't look bad. I don't really dislike it that much. Risk would be 1830, maybe 1825 if I wanted to be a little bit more loose with my stop. If I go long on this one. What caused the crash yesterday? Raised interest rates and fear over tariffs is what caused the crash yesterday. Corporate paying more. Why not? So each window, I mean, you mean just the charts? I'm just looking at different charts right now. Why not? I really don't see too much I really like right now. The only thing I'm talking about is AMRN. Maybe with the risk of 1830, 1825. But at this point, I'm just kind of taking it slow right now. Okay. Yeah, no worries, insurance. No stress, brother. These right here, this is just low float stocks making moves, action heating up. These are just showing you what's going on in the market right now. So you can see VTL, if you're into cheaper penny stocks, VTL starting to spike here. Why not? TEUM. A lot of these are just high of the day scanners and showing you what's moving today in the market. PEIX ran up some, bounced off the VWAP. There's low float stocks. So these are low float stocks, action heating up. So what's really moving in the market? High of the day momentum scanner, which is probably one of the more important ones that I'm watching. Yeah, sorry guys. Today I'm kind of looking at all right, so I sold one of my options. If you could see here, I'm kind of playing around with these options. I'm still holding one on TRBG, and it's starting to drop really nicely. And so these gains are looking good. Maybe it was a good thing that I bought some of these. Gonna let this last TRBG option hold and just sell it if it starts to go against me, but not too bad for starting off this account with 175 about a week ago. I got it up to 220 just trading options for the most part and one decent long trade, one CRMD swing trade. So not bad swing and option trading for me. We're going to see how much this thing can run. Speaking of TRBG, appreciate the sub, Simon, as well. Yeah, but for anybody just now joining us, if this is your first time, I day trade live on stream every weekday morning, starting at 8:40 market time. I usually stream until about 10:15, 10:30, sometimes a little bit longer. Mitch is usually here with me as well. He should be back here tomorrow. And so, yeah, we just day trade live on stream for free right here on YouTube every weekday. And so make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to check that out. Yeah, I'm proud of my options trades insurance, and my option trade strategy, it's fairly simple. Like with both of these, I bought if you want to see, I don't know if I want to show history because it will show my real name, but with both of these, I just look for overextended moves on the daily chart and just bought put options for them. And so yeah, I got it up from 175 to 220. So about $35 gain in a week, which is a pretty big percentage gain relative to how much I'm trading with. And so yeah, I'm happy with my swing trading lately. My swing trading and option trading have been pretty on point. Like I said, the strategy I use is super simple. If you want to look at TRVG here, I ended up buying TRVG when this thing was at $5 or $6. Let me go back. Yeah, I bought TRVG up here when it was at $5 or $6. And the reason I bought it was because if you look at the daily chart, it had some resistance here on the daily at around 650, 640. And so judging by that, I thought it might get rejected there, especially considering that it had a bunch of days where it pushed up. Basically, I thought it was a little overextended on the upside on the daily chart. And so I bought the option here, wanting it to go down. And it ended up working out for me. It was a really cheap option. It was like the option I think was like $15. And so, a $15 option made me $40. So 100% gain on that investment for this option. And so my option strategy is really simple. I just look for overextended stocks on the daily chart, and I buy put options wanting them to go down. If they drop enough, I profit, and even if they don't do anything or they go against me or whatever, I'm still only down what I paid for the option, which was $15 or $20 maybe. But regardless, is that very simple strategy. Sometimes the simple strategies are the ones that work. I'm not an options expert or anything like that, but like I said, I just look for overextended stocks on the daily chart that have resistance above them. You can see the resistance here and here. And so my hypothesis was that it would come down, and that's exactly what it's been doing the last few weeks. So it ended up working out. Yeah, I have live data on Thinkorswim, Apple. Yeah, my data's live. I actually have a video on how to get live data on Thinkorswim that kind of teaches you how to sign the contracts for Thinkorswim. SPY is back down. Kind of a break-even day in the SPY. How do you options trade on Robinhood? I mean, to trade options on Robinhood, yeah, it's having some problems, Joe. Correct. Why not? When I say overextended, I mean, not necessarily actually. So when I say overextended, I think it could be overextended in either direction. It could be oversold, which is overextended on the downside, and in my mind, it's more likely that it's going to bounce, or it could be overbought, so overextended on the upside, where in my mind, it's more likely that it's going to come back down. That's really what I base every strategy with trading. I base off the extension levels of the stock. And I use that to kind of form my hypotheses on it. And so, yeah, I just look at the extension level. That's what especially with swing trades, I just look at the daily, look at how extended it is. Naturally, I'm a short bias trader, and so I look for stocks that have just ran up 200-300%, or depending on the price, and just try to take advantage of that overextension by, if I'm swing trading, buying put options, and if I am weird, my phone just goes crazy. But yeah, I just look at the extension level. I think it makes sense. Wahib, I'm sorry, I don't want to show my real name, brother, but we're on the internet, dude. You know, I got kids and a family, man. I don't want people knowing my real name. Why would I ever want that? you know, it's not like I'm hiding anything else. I mean, I show people my profit and loss. I live stream my trades every morning so people can see my trades. It's not like I'm hiding anything else. I don't think it's unreasonable that I don't want people to know my real name and harass me outside of YouTube. you know what I mean? I get enough haters as it is on YouTube. The last thing I want is those haters contacting me elsewhere, you know? Exactly, Peter. That's what it is. You found out, Peter. How did you know, man? Right. All right, guys. My real name's John Wick, you know? I don't know how Peter found out, but he did. But no, so kind of looking at AMRN now, see if it gets rejected here at the VWAP. See if it gets rejected there. Risk level. Maybe 50, 1850. Risk would be about 30 cents, 20 cents. Reward would be about 30 cents. So not the best risk to reward, but it's positive. Definitely part one, why not? Of course it's part one, man. I like part two, but part one's the good one. I mean, part two's good too, but obviously the first one's better than the second one. Tesla, if you think I don't get haters on here, brother, you haven't been here long enough, man. Plus, you haven't seen my comments on YouTube. There's definitely some haters. I've been ignoring them lately. And anytime I get somebody really that's hating in the chat, I just ban them. But, yeah, man, if you think I don't get haters, you haven't been here long enough, brother. Exactly. I had a hater yesterday I banned. We get them all the time, man, and it's fine, you know. Anytime you're doing something cool, people are going to hate, and that's fine. It all comes from insecurity, and, you know, secure people focus on themselves. Insecure people are too busy focusing on other people because, like I said, they're insecure. All right, Netron, have a good day, brother. But I'm looking at the SPY here, man. The SPY's starting to tank. Really see if it cracks the low of the day. All right, Insurance, have a good day, brother. Not too often. I haven't had the best results towards the end of the day. Typically, I have the best results right around the beginning of the day is usually when I have my best trades for the most part. That's when I'm mostly accurate towards the beginning of the day. I'm not saying I'm opposed to trading at the end of the day. It's just not my niche in trading. It's just not what I've been having success with. And so I try to stick to what has been working. And for me, that's just trading at the beginning of the day. Trading, usually it's within the first 30 minutes is usually when I get in my trades. ACRX isn't tradable, bro. But let me look at it. At this point, it would have been a VWAP projection here. At this point, I don't even know what it is. I don't. It has too much support at 75 for me to really like going short at this point. But who knows? You know, you never know. It could end up coming back down. NBEV starting to spike up too here. You can see NBEV breaking over this resistance here, testing it now at 575. John, no. So, all I'll really say, John, is that I am not technically in Houston. I am on the suburbs outside of Houston to the north. I'm north of Houston, in the suburbs north of Houston. And yeah, I took a $15 loss today. No stress though. More I'm focusing on these option trades on my Robinhood account. You know, I think I made 20, 30 bucks today on options, so I'm actually green on the day if you consider that, but specifically on TEFs, I'm down 15, so no stress, small loss. First losing day this week. I've had, yesterday was a green day, the day before was a green day, Monday was break even, and today was my first loss on the week, so no stress, first loss, not too bad.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? All right, we got Mitch on the stream, guys.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? I was able to sneak home for a little bit. Not really thinking about taking a trade, but opened up my computer because I'm going to be here for probably about 30 minutes, just taking a break from work. Looking around, seeing IGC there. I think it could bounce one more time. If it rejects 477s, that would look good. Definitely think it's going to bounce the VWAP one more time.
Which one?
IGC. Kron doing kind of like same kind of moves, except it's already made that third move up there, so I like that one a little bit better right now. I wanted to reject this 927s here, not get above 927s.
Yeah, it had a lot of resistance there. I see that. But it's kind of been, I mean, with the market as volatile as it was yesterday, it's been a little tricky, specifically with VWAP fades. I haven't seen too many follow-throughs, and except for maybe NIO at first at the open. But aside from that, I haven't seen too many follow-throughs with the fade. If you look at IGC here, you know, like I said earlier, that 478 risk level was good, but not too big of a range for me. No, not that I'm aware of, Tiny. On Demand doesn't charge a monthly fee, at least not that I'm aware of. For instance, I deposited $20 into my Thinkorswim account 2 years ago. And I did trade on Thinkorswim for a while with a few thousand, but I eventually just withdrew it and put it into a different broker. I think I put it into Ustock Trade, and I've just been letting my Thinkorswim account sit ever since. I think I have like 15 bucks in it that's stayed in it for the last year or so. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't, but it's best to ask them, Tiny, but I'm pretty sure they don't. Hockley, Texas. I have to look up where that is, John. It's by 290. Yeah, I'm a little bit more east than that. A little bit more north and a little bit more east. CDNA popping up on the scanners. SNDX. VTL, cheaper stock making moves. TEUM made a little bit of a run today. Yeah, kind of a tough day. I mean, not much, at least for my strategy, for my specific strategy, there's always going to be days that are great and days that aren't so great. Today wasn't a great day for the fade. And that's okay. You know, days like that are going to happen. I didn't force anything. I feel like if I would have traded more, I would have probably taken another loss. And so I don't mind sitting on my hands after that first trade today. Kind of just looking at TRVG here to see how far down this thing's going to go with my option, with my put. I'm already in the green.
Like I said, for Kron, guys, it was going to probably test those 927s again. Just got above it there, 929. Looks like it's reversing there. Let's see if it holds underneath 932s.
I like that rejection just now.
Yeah, the real key is what we're going to get right here. Because the level stayed at least underneath VWAP. It closed.
We got REN popping up on the scanners. REN kind of faded off the VWAP some. Shizzo, no, man. I usually just stick to what the strategies that have been working for us thus far, you know. Like, I try to only trade setups that I've back tested myself just so I know they work. And, you know, no, I'm not saying that his strategy is a bad strategy. To be honest, I don't even know what his strategy is. But like I said, I just try to kind of stick to the back tested strategies that have worked for me thus far and kind of ignore all the rest of the noise. You know, on YouTube, we get a lot of people. We always get a lot of people on YouTube that say, buy this stock here, buy this stock now. And then some people even get mad if I don't just follow their advice. Like, I'll get in the chat, buy this stock here. Why aren't you buying it? You know? And I get that a lot, actually. And so I kind of have to just, especially when you're doing what I'm doing, which is streaming in front of hundreds of people, I got to learn. I have to just ignore them. You know, they're just some, no offense to anybody, but to me, you know, they're just somebody on the internet. I can't really just I can't just listen to people in the chat just because I have to know the strategy works. I backtest the strategies and patterns that I use, and so I just stick to what I've backtested and let them work.
All right, guys. Kron did a nice reject there. Looking for a bounce here, anywhere between 22s and 25s there. Can risk off a 930.
OHGI, yeah, it spiked up nicely. Yeah, I like that drop. Good call on CRON. But yeah, OHGI, it's just a little bit too cheap for me to trade. But, you know, as you can see, again, like I went over earlier, a big down day yesterday, and then what happens to it today? It spikes up. You know, it's just overextended on the downside after yesterday, and so you get these big moves back up here, so... NBEV kind of teetering around the high of the day, getting close to it. It's at 580. The high of the day looks to be at about 590. Yeah, so 590 on NBEV. IGC kind of spiked back to the VWAP. But like I said earlier, the VWAP fade doesn't seem to be in play as much today. What scanner do I use? I use Trade Ideas right here. So I just use Trade Ideas scanners right now at this point. I use a few other tools for pre-market aside from Trade Ideas. Like I use SnapTrade. And SnapTrade's a cool free website. If you're interested, go check it out. But I also use like StockMarketWatch.com and a few other ones. So I use a few different things.
I missed my entry there. My order was out on the ass. Just not getting filled there. At 24s, 25s. Would have been a nice risk. Would have had a good trade here, guys. Just missed it by a penny. I was thinking about canceling my order and shorting 24s, but since I had the order out, I didn't want it to do that block kind of thing that it does on TIFs.
Yeah, where it says your order is too close to filling price or whatever it says.
Yeah, exactly. So if I would have canceled it and then tried to hit 24s, it might have worked, but if it changes at any point there to 23s, I wouldn't have been able to hit 24s. So
Yeah.
I had set it for 25. I was gonna risk off a 930 here, look for this move down to 910 first, and then 904.
I'm gonna post a video, Jason explaining the VWAP fade. It's one of my YouTube videos, but it explains, it kind of walks it through.
Right.
Yeah, John. I mean, listen, I'm not hating on anybody using their own strategies. I actually respect people that have their own strategies and, don't try to piggyback off of Mitch and I. Um, but yeah, we get a lot of people. People forget that we're putting everything out there for free. They forget that we're streaming live on YouTube, and I think a lot of people start to feel a little entitled about it. They start to feel like, they start to get mad if we don't do exactly what they want on YouTube or whatever. And so I like I said, I just got to learn to ignore them. People forget that, like I said, we're putting everything out there for free, and like we're putting hours into this for free. You know what I mean? And so people forget that. I think people on the internet, they're quick to forget stuff. Yeah, no stress, Jason. Hey, glad to hear you found value in the channel, brother. I gotta say, this is one of the most useful rooms I've ever sat in on. Hey, nice, Jason. Glad to be of use for you, brother. But yeah, like I said, after that first trade, I didn't really see too much else I liked, and so I've kind of been just focusing on my options trading on Robinhood. You can see, started this account. Deposited 175 into this account a week or two ago, maybe a little bit longer than that.
Yep. Good trade idea on Kron. I'm gonna miss out on that one, guys. It was a great trade idea. Saw the shorters in the 920s. Just missed it by a cent there. Maybe being a little picky. Wanted to risk 5 cents in this trade, take 10 cents, and then take 15. But hey, the trade idea was there. Also a fade, just a third rejection there. And now the only thing you would need is confirmation on the volume side to get it through this 916 and knock it back down to 910s. Then after that, I see a little bounce probably in the 915s, 916s, and then making its way to this 905. But definitely there's a good idea there off of those 930s there. The shorters are mainly in the 920s. I see about 9,000 shares in between 925 and 927, and then another 8,500 shares at 922 and 921. And if you see those prices on this chart, if a shorter was short at those prices, does it seem like a reasonable bet here or a good risk to reward? And the trade is completely right. If they got in there 25, 27s, and 21s, their average is now probably 924 with a lot of sizing. That's exactly where you want to sit into.
Right. You can also see a little bit of a triangle here.
Yeah.
The wedge close together, and 924 is the top of it.
Yeah, there's a down trend line from that bottom all the way up. And what you want to see it do is kind of crack that trend line and then stay below it, uses that as a resistance. So this is what we call a symmetrical triangle, where you could draw a line in the half of this triangle, and it's pretty much an equal amount of distance on both sides if you drew the middle here. The real key is trying to get your price above the middle on a symmetrical triangle. Let's say if you had a short here at 924 or above, you're looking really well here as the pressure is coming on that 916. All you need is a big shorter to come in here and knock it down for you.
Yeah, if you look at my screen, I drew the symmetrical triangle like about a few minutes ago. And it's very obvious, that triangle that you were talking about.
Yeah, I watched this. First thing I did was I drew that bottom line. And the moment that it made that run to 929, I completed the top part of this.
Somebody mentioning specs. Yeah, specs cracking the low of the day. I didn't even see specs this morning. I don't know why I didn't notice that one. It doesn't have that much room to fill in the gap, and it's not tradable for me, but I missed specs today. I didn't see it. But yeah, just cracked under this 119 support it had right here, which was the previous low of the day, and also coincidentally, or actually not coincidentally, it was the low of pre-market as well. And so realistically though, I think it doesn't have that much room. It might have room down to maybe 1.7, 1.10. And so I don't know how much room it's really going to have. And so we'll see. If I was going to enter this one, I would have preferred to enter it up here. Instead of right here. I think here the chances of it bouncing back up are a little bit too high for me to really want to jump in that one. But if you look at TRXC, it's also doing the same thing. TRXC starting to crack the low of the day. And it's at 470. The low is at 471. So it's teetering right there now. We'll see what it does here as well.
Yep. IGC looking tempting there, but would have to see a really big move happen on Cron. Because Cron held those 916s there.
Yeah, it's still following the triangle though.
Yep.
Just gonna wait to see.
It is. I just think it's starting to get to that point where the risk is not matching the reward, guys. So you got to start being careful on that side. You don't want to get into one-to-one trades when the trade is what we call on the verge or the breaking point. That's not when you want to go ahead and start your sizing. That's when you want to go ahead and have your complete size, kind of a little cushion, so that when you get into that in-between stage, you can just kind of relax, already have taken some off, and you can put the pressure on.
Yeah, there's the break of the triangle.
I'm seeing I looks good. You could maybe attack IGC now at 65s and risk off of 475, but I don't see that as too much viable, as the bottom here is only 50. So it's 15 cents for a 10-cent risk. Not really my kind of trades. I like to do a little bit over and have that 2-to-1. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I didn't really see anything I wanted to take a chance on. I'd rather have a fresh start tomorrow and continue my green streak, guys. Let's go ahead and go for 9 tomorrow.
Let's do it, brother. Have a good day, man. Nice work.
All right, take care.
Later, brother. Yeah, I'll probably close the stream down soon. Like I said, though, I'm looking at TRVG. I'm still holding this put option, and it's dropping nicely for me. Just want to see how farther down this thing can go. Realistically, I'd probably sell if it got to 450. And so I'm just holding this option. Deposited 175. Let me see how long ago that was. It was a few weeks ago. Oh, let me see. It was September 24th. And so, yeah, it was 3 weeks ago when I deposited that 175, and I got it up to a little bit under 220, so about 20% gain in 3 weeks, 18% gain maybe. So not bad. Gonna keep playing these options, looking for overextended stocks and buying puts on them, see if that continues to work for me. Somebody said, is a trade worth it to scalp a penny or two? It all depends on the strategy. It all depends on what the accuracy rate of the strategy. This is something we kind of went over in our risk to reward class yesterday, or the day before yesterday, is, it all depends on how accurate your setup is, right? If your setup is super accurate, then you can get by with scalping. You know what I mean? If your setup isn't accurate, scalping's probably not going to be good for you. And so it all depends on how accurate your setup is. And the real way to learn that is to back test the setup, which tonight is actually our trade review and back testing class. So we're going to be going over that tonight. But yeah, it all depends on how accurate your setup is. If it's a super accurate setup, you might be able to get by with scalping. You see me scalp a lot. When I back tested the VWAP fade, it had a 73% accuracy rate. And so I definitely think that's substantial enough to scalp using it. Of course, it's not always going to work out. Like days like today, I had a losing trade. But regardless, this is the first losing day I've had this week. And so the setup's accurate enough to... The setup is accurate enough to scalp, but it all depends, It all depends on with scalping, you have to take a little bit larger size and just do quick, small, accurate trades. And so if you're only getting 1 or 2 cents per trade, you gotta, you know, at least in my opinion, you'd have to go in with some pretty big sizing. And so it has to be accurate or not. And that's really what's the important things. Hey, nice, Sean. Nice work, brother. Yeah, I'm loving my trade right now. I'm up 100% of what I invested into that put option. And so, yeah, it worked out well, man. And like I said, everything I do in trading revolves around overextension. If you see when I bought this option up here, I bought this option up here at 630s, and so you could see the reason I bought it is because I thought it was overextended on the daily. It had like 5 or 6 green days in a row, and it also had major resistance above it here at around 630s and here at 640. And so it had that major resistance above it, and I thought the likelihood of it coming back down was pretty good. And so that's ultimately why I bought the put option. And yeah, it ended up working out for me. I'll probably start using options a little bit more and more. I don't have too much experience with them, but nothing like accurate setup, John, in my opinion. What do you mean nothing like accurate setup, Silver? Yeah, I'm happy with the trade. I also took a NEPT option. Like if you guys remember, when I bought both of these options, I bought one on TRVG and one on NEPT, right? And I bought this NEPT option when it was up here at $5, I think. It was either at $5 or 4 something. And even NEPT ended up dropping down to $4 and under that at 380. I sold it at 380 for a small profit. But the time decay on this NEPT option is what ultimately made it so that it wasn't a big gain like my TRVG one. The TRVG one worked. I just ended up holding it, letting it work. Really, the option expired in 9 days from now or in 8 days from now, and so I'm definitely happy with it, and I'll take it for sure. With both of these, I got out both of these options. I bought these on stream so you guys could see me buy them, but with both of them, they were both profitable options. Appreciate it, Sean. Appreciate it, brother. Like accurate 100%. Yeah, nothing's really going to be accurate 100%. I mean, I guess it's possible, but it's highly unlikely. And so it's just about, any really with trading, any accuracy really over 55% is decent, but it really all depends on your strategy. If your strategy is super accurate, then you can use a little bit worse risk to reward. And if your style or strategy isn't that accurate, but it generally gives you good risk to reward, it's okay to be wrong more. And so it's just about how accurate your setup is. With the VWAP fade, my accuracy rate lately has been roughly 70%. And like I said, when I back tested it, the accuracy rate that I saw was 73%. And so it's pretty close to what I back tested it on. Biggest thing I do wrong is just not taking bigger sizing, maybe exiting out of the trade a little bit too soon. But at the same time, Mitch and I both have our weaknesses and strengths. And luckily, my weaknesses are Mitch's strengths and vice versa. I do really well with data and back testing the setup. And Mitch does really well with managing the trade. And so we both have our strengths and weaknesses. But together, I think we make a pretty good team. But yeah, I'll probably end up going ahead and closing the stream down now. Tonight's our back testing class, so if anybody's interested in learning more about back testing, how we back test strategies, you can go check it out. I'll go ahead and post the link here. But even if you don't want to sign up, if you're interested in learning the strategies that we use, there is a strategy section of our site that kind of goes over. We have both long and short patterns. Definitely the short section is the most in-depth, but you can go here, check out, we break down the VWAP fade and the VWAP rejection and a few other strategies, as well as a strategy video library. But we also have broker reviews if you want to see no PDT brokers that we've used before, which is TradeNet, TEF, SureTrader, and UStockTrade. But yeah, like I said, our classes are tonight. We're not trying to act like experts or anything like that, but like I said, Mitch and I have been streaming our trades live for a while now. And in that time, I think I was saying it yesterday, in that time, I haven't had 1 week where I had more losing trades than winning trades. Every week I have more winning trades than losing trades. And sure, I've had down weeks. I've had about 2 down weeks out of the last 8. And like I said, I do have some things I need to work on. But, the reason we hit that high accuracy rates and, that good P&L is because we backtest our setup. And so that's our class tonight. So go check it out if you're interested. And like I said, I'll post the link. Also, if anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet or TEFs, that's the broker that we're using. I usually get that asked a decent amount. What broker am I using? And so if anybody's interested in signing up to them, I can go ahead and include that link as well. We do make a small commission, but if you go through our link, you do get 20% off the intro package. Biggest flaw, I try to be honest with people about it. The biggest flaw with TEFs, which is the broker I'm using, is that a lot of stocks aren't tradable. And so easily the biggest flaw and the most frustrating thing. But if you watch our streams, you usually see we can get by that a decent amount, and we can usually find a decent amount of stocks to trade. And so yeah, if anybody's interested in more information about the broker we're using or the package that we're using, you can check out TEFs. Like I said, the way it works is you pay for one of the packages. In this case, I paid for the intro package, and with that, they give you $14,000 in buying power with a $700 max loss. And any profit over that original $14K they give you, there's a 70-30 split. And so, for instance, if I bring it up to $15K, I keep $700, they keep $300. So go check it out if you're interested. We do, like I said, we make a small commission from it, but it's one of the ways you can help support this channel. And also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We day trade live on stream every weekday morning. And so if you're interested in continuing to follow along and learning from us and watching us trade, you can hit the subscribe button. Also, if you want to do me a favor and help support the channel, click the like button right now on this video. We appreciate any support we can get, so if you could click the like button, we definitely appreciate it if you do appreciate this content. And yeah, everyone have a good day. I'll see you all tomorrow at the same time. Mitch should be here tomorrow, so we'll see you all then. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.